Good morning. Welcome to EXSIN Live. We are coming to you remote today because the world is ending, Phil. Inflation's through the roof. We're going to have World War III, I think. I'm not really sure what's going on, but we're in our bunkers to talk about how to save your small business today, right?
Yeah, sounds like we need to be. Yeah. The doom and gloom of everything in the world is just too much.
Yeah, so I'm gonna encourage everybody to stay positive, but I'm also going to encourage you to be thoughtful now. Now's the time to look at ways you can increase your monthly profits because wholesale prices are going up. It's a reality. It's all over the news. It's happening. So we can complain about it or we can figure out how to run our business, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were in a place yesterday and a guy that I was there with takes pictures of the menu. It was a restaurant. Takes pictures of the menu and keeps us updated on how much prices go up in this restaurant all the time. And last June, a certain burger, they got about 8 burgers, a certain burger was like $8.95. Yesterday, $13.95. And, listen, 7.5% inflation is a real problem. But to your point, we got to figure out how to survive and how to thrive even when those things are going on around us.
Yeah, so with that said, that's a great intro to the first thing you probably need to do if you want to have a healthy business. It's know your budget. What's your monthly budget? What are your costs? Because that menu you had a year ago, you weren't breaking even, right? And that's why those prices had to come up. You need to review your budget, see what it's costing every month, and see how to maintain that profit margin. We have a client that we work with that is very thoughtful when it comes to profit margin, and it's proven to keep him in a great place with his business because he knows his numbers, he knows where he's going, he knows what to expect. We talk about it every week, and it's fun to watch because it really helps the team and the company understand their position in the market.
Yeah, and I think, and we also have clients that when we first started working with them had no budget. Now, the client you're talking about when we first started working with them, do you remember? Had no budget.
Yeah, no.
And I can remember us sitting there going, because it wasn't like they were a little startup. I mean, they were doing millions and millions of dollars a year in sales, no budget. So and it's now what's cool is once you get people in that habit and they start seeing all the cool decisions you can make and how you can really run your business based on numbers and facts and data. Now you got to factor that all in with the human element, obviously, but at the same time, you got to have data to make good decisions on your business. Once they do it, I mean, because how many times has this individual looked at us like, I can't believe we didn't do this before, because but somebody's got to show you how, right? You got to know how to do that.
Well, I mean, you think about it, the budget process is like blocking and tackling in football. I mean, once you learn how to really do a good form tackle, it feels good, right? I mean, it feels good, and it's the same thing with the budget process. Once you understand it, it feels good. You're like, I get it.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt when you do it right. When you tackle somebody correctly, it's like you get up and you're like, okay, I didn't feel anything.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Well, you did it right, so you don't feel anything when you do it right, but when you're in there half what it and not doing it correctly, you feel everything. And so, budgeting is like breathing air. You got to have it if you want to build a healthy business. I'm not saying there's a lot of people out there that do a lot of sales, that employ a lot of people, and I'm telling you this right now, that do not have a budget. And is that Memphis or is that?
That's the big one. I don't know what he got all fired up about. He took off.
Hey, then don't you say a bad word to Tucker. He's perfect. Tucker's perfect. So, but Tucker's probably mad because Memphis is within 2 feet of him right now. So, but anyway, you gotta. We've got businesses out there that they're successful, like you hear me say all the time, in spite of themselves. They're not as successful as they could be. They could be doing so much more, but they just don't know what they're not doing. They don't know what they don't know. So it's a very, very important step.
So here's a simple exercise if you're paying attention to say, this is something I want you to do. It's a simple exercise. I want you to take all of your costs, software, insurance, rent, utilities, I want you to put it in a spreadsheet. I want you to write it all in a spreadsheet, what it is and the cost. And I want you to look at that bottom line number for your month. I did an audit last week of stuff that I spend on business, and I was shocked at how many nickels and dimes and what they add up to, right? This software or this piece of equipment or this or that, you will be shocked. And I found 3 things I didn't need anymore, and I got rid of it, right?
Yeah.
I did an audit, and so I encourage, every quarter look at what you're doing, and if you're using it or not, and see what you can get rid of and what you can keep. Because I think that is the first step in getting your budget in line and knowing what your numbers are. And look, it's a constant thing you have to do. So the next one, and this is one of my favorite ones because this is really a fun one to do, is look for waste in your organization. Waste could be overtime that's not necessary. Waste could be streamlining a production process. Waste could be delivery routes for your drivers. Waste could be, overspending on sales lunches or whatever. You need to know what those numbers are, but find the waste and fat in your organization and trim it out. You may not need 10 servers at your restaurant. You may only need 5, but you're keeping 10 on staff because that's what you've always done. When times get challenging, you've got to make certain decisions which aren't popular, but they will improve the health of your business. Yeah,
and they are. They can be really tough decisions, and a lot of times those when you're doing those things, they involve human beings, and decisions you have to make about human beings, and people don't like doing that. Yep. But again, you got to figure out that and this is so true. I'm going back to this Monday. Dave and I, we're really way too comfortable with some of our clients, and because I got a follow-up call after this meeting to make sure you and I were okay. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, today you guys got a little – I said, no, that's how Dave and I talk to each other. It happens sometimes. I made a statement about a political situation. Dave said something back to me. I said something back to him. He said, and we were like 2 14-year-old teenage boys, and then we both just shut up because we realized this was going nowhere. And Dave and I, we've always said if you grew up in the military – that's just how you talk to each other. It's not a reflection of whether I care about somebody or I respect somebody or if I believe in somebody. It is what it is, and you move on. And I think that's what I want people to understand when they're looking at waste. It is what it is. Everything doesn't have to be personal. I think we make too many things personal in life. And I've had a guy say one time, well, of course it's personal. If I've got to lay somebody off or if I've got to cut somebody's wages or if I've got to, whatever. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's not personal. It is business. I mean, you've got a responsibility to the overall organization to make the right decisions. Well, and that's hard sometimes.
I think you bring up a great point. It really isn't personal, and it's a personal conversation because you care about them and like and trust them, and they know, like and trust you. That's the personal part of it. But the reality of it is you can sacrifice the whole team for that one person. And so when you look at your business, you got to make those decisions. And I'm not saying they're easy. I'm not being callous. I'm just saying sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I mean, we've had clients let us go because they couldn't afford us anymore. Whatever. No big deal. We still love all of them. I mean, they're great people.
Yeah, I'm mad at you.
No, not at all. I mean, and we understand, right? It's what it is. So the next one is the third one, and this is Walmart 101. Okay, it's negotiate your pricing with vendors.
Oh boy!
Now if you're a small business,
I'm just thinking of one of our clients that we love dearly. Yep. That right now his head just exploded when you said the W word. Go ahead.
Well, they have a team. Walmart has a team of hitmen that makes all their vendors live in Arkansas, and there's price pressure because of the amount of volume they sell. Yeah. As a small company, you can't really pressure them because of the volume you sell, but what you can do is negotiate early terms payments, cash payments, negotiate quantity payments, go from a retail to a wholesale model with them. There's things you can talk to their vendors. If you're paying on time or paying early, they may entertain a 5% discount. And if you haven't had that conversation, it doesn't hurt to ask. Right, I would encourage you to say that. If you don't ask, you don't get. I mean, that's everything in life. If you don't ask for it, you have a 100% chance of not getting it. That's a fact.
I mean, you've got to ask. You've got to ask.
And here's the other thing: if you have one vendor that won't negotiate on price, go to their competitor. Go, hey, I'm talking to them about this. I want to get a better deal. As long as it's the same quality product you want to sell, obviously it's a lower quality product. I get that. But the reality of it is take the time to have those thoughtful discussions. And the challenge is if you're a small business owner and you're working in your business all the time, you can't do these working on your business's things. So you need to make the time to have those conversations and know what to do. So, I mean, real quick, budget, trim fat, negotiate pricing.
Yep.
Do those three things in the next month and see what happens to your profit, your bottom line.
Well, we've seen it countless times with a lot of different people in a lot of different industries. When you approach those three cornerstones, good things happen. It's like anything. If you actually walk it out, good things happen. Even if that doesn't turn out exactly the way you want it to, there's going to be improvement. You're going to become leaner. You're going to become more efficient. You're going to provide better customer service to your clients. And at the end of the day, you're probably going to make a better ROI for your company. And definitely increase the value of your company. And one of the things, we've got a client that really went through this process, done a great job. And really with them, it's been a few years, right, that we've worked with them to kind of get this where it is. But now they're sitting there and the value of that company is unbelievably higher simply because they had business disciplines and were able to do the things they needed to do, and so you're going to create a more valuable asset, that asset being your business, when you do those three cornerstones Dave was talking about.
Yeah, that's a fact. And just so everybody knows, this is a blog post that I read earlier this week that we're talking about by Nathan Liao. We've shared that blog post on our EXSIN page, which is much more in detail with really steps and tricks. He did a great job laying it out for you. So I would encourage you to check out our EXSIN Facebook page. And what we're going to kind of do something for the next few weeks in our series. I'm going through blog posts and things out there on business help. We're going to share those, and then we're going to give you our feed, our feel on what we think you can do simply on our EXSIN Lives for the next few weeks. Because I think it's a great way to get good information out and then validate it with processes from other companies. Because this isn't just Phil and I's idea. This is just good business practices, right? So
yeah, there's not a lot of original ideas, and that's one thing we tell our clients all the time. You don't have to be this creative. You don't have to figure out a solution. What you got to do is take time-tested and proven processes that has worked for all kinds of industries, all kinds of sizes of businesses. Doesn't matter where you're geographically located. None of that stuff that we always get the BS from our clients when they first engage with us. They always think they're special. As I've said a few months ago, none of us are that damn special. We all think, none of us, not me, not Dave, none of us, take these proven processes and apply them, execute on them. If you do that stuff, you're going to have great success.
That's a fact. So what else you got going on the rest of the day, Phil? Anything exciting?
Let's see here. Super Bowl's over. I have enjoyed all the videos that I've seen, kids shooting videos of their parents when the halftime show came on at the Super Bowl. Parents jumping up and dancing and doing the crip walk and all this stuff.
NWA, baby.
And the commentary of the kids is hilarious. I didn't know my mom could dance like that. It's just so funny. So it's good. There's challenges in the world, but it's like everything. There's always going to be challenges. Sometimes they affect all of us. Sometimes they affect you personally. It doesn't seem like the rest of the world. Sometimes you feel like you're on an island. It's still about how do you respond to those challenges? What do you do every day? Having good processes, doing the blocking and tackling. If you don't know how to do something, ask the questions, right? I think I'm actually very optimistic in the direction we're going. Now you and I have lived long enough to none of this stuff we're seeing now is new. We've just lived long enough to have already experienced it before. I know when you're in your late 20s, early 30s, and all you've ever seen was unicorns and puppies economically, I get that this is a little scary, but it is what it is. It'll all be good. It'll all work out. So the people that take action now during challenging times are going to acquire more, have more, and be more financially successful because they continued to walk things out when everybody else was scared and sitting on the sideline.
That is an absolute fact. So make good decisions now. Do the right things in your business. Grow. And with that EXSIN Live. Dave and Phil, we are out of here.